This is Money Talk Radio. I'm Ellis Martin. We're going to visit now with Patrick Elliott, the president and CEO of Forte Minerals, trading on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CUAU, and in the U.S. on the OTCQB as FOMNF. Forte is committed to maximizing shareholder value through acquiring, exploring, discovering, and developing copper and gold projects in Peru. The team is composed of dedicated and qualified professionals who have a combined 215 years of experience at exploration and mining in the Americas, and a combined 60 years of successfully managing public companies. This combination of expertise accelerates the extensive connections to projects and financing. Welcome back to the program. Great to speak with you again. It was great catching up with you at PDAC.
Yeah, it was quite the week and really good seeing you there. Thanks for having us.
I think we've had what can be called a consistent run on gold. It's now at almost 2,200 US, hovering somewhere near there, fluctuating each day by $10 or $20 up or down. But I think it's safe to say that we could be seeing a coming gold market, and copper at the same time can run with gold. And you've picked up an additional property in Peru that speaks directly to gold with some nice intersects.
We've always been bullish on gold. This was expected. It's taken some time for the fundamentals to be realized, but what a great week, a breakout in gold. We'll probably see some small pullbacks, but it's certainly headed in the right direction. And all the work that Forte's put into Peru over the last decade and a half building these portfolios certainly speaks to the position we're in with gold and copper assets.
Let's talk about the acquisition from Globetrotters.
Globetrotters is a related party. Globetrotters controls about 15% of Forte. It's a project generator that we assemble our portfolio from handpicking the best properties out of Globetrotters. And this is an acquisition we've been working on through Globetrotters. I'm also a founder of Globetrotters, and I work with them intimately since 2008. But this private company was put together to generate high quality gold copper assets for Forte and our sister company, Element 29 Copper. This is the model. We're not trying to reinvent or recreate anything. It's the same thing we've done with multiple companies in the country. We love Peru. We love copper and gold, and both those elements are well positioned for what looks like to be a long bull market.
Are you fairly confident that the equities are going to catch up with the commodities itself?
Yeah, it's starting to realize it in the producers here. They're starting to see that benefit, and they had a good week. And that trickles down to the mid and small caps. The speculatives are always the last ones, as history's always shown, and it's unfolding pretty nicely now.
Do you think some of the funds and the majors are now going to take a look at some early exploration projects that they wouldn't have looked at within the last few years? Can we see more of that or any of that?
Yeah, since there's been a lack of exploration initiatives from a lot of the mid-tiers and majors in the last decade, just mainly due to the markets. The first thing they relinquish are their exploration assets, exploration budgets, and the teams in tough markets, and they focus on optimizing production. So as we set up for another exciting market, there's a deficit in pipeline projects. There's not enough resource development that occurred and new discoveries that occurred to fulfill this deficit in production that we're going to see. And not just in gold and copper, but other base metals and precious metals as well. But we happen to be focused on gold and copper. And look, the fundamentals look strong and healthy for the future. Yeah, it's really impressive, the attraction that we're seeing from the major copper and gold companies in Peru and elsewhere in other jurisdictions. But specifically in Peru, there's a lot of inflow of capital from the majors going after early to mid-stage exploration projects. There's a void of pipeline copper and gold assets that needs to be filled in major producers' portfolios. And there's not enough deposits coming on stream to fill the future production scenarios. Very impressive to see that capital flowing to the sector. And this is often, they're playing catch up from less exploration activities and exploration budgets in the past. Pretty exciting to see that. We're turning over here, and it's going to take a while to progress, but what we usually see at the start of a big mining cycle.
What's your favorite thing about Peru? I've been there. It's been almost 20 years. When I was there, I happened to see at surface copper and gold, which was fascinating to actually witness. I hadn't seen it before, and plentiful. But what's your favorite thing about Peru, whether it's mining or the people or the terrain or what have you?
The fact that it's been underexplored. It had a very late start just due to the politics and the accessibility in the country. Pre-2000s, an untapped mineral belts within the country that a lot of discoveries remain. And we've seen some tremendous deposits come on stream and put into production. Every major copper and gold company is present in the country in exploring and producing. So it's a phenomenal place to be, but because it had a late start in exploration and production, it was historically an oil and gas producer in the northern regions. And then now most of the GDP wealth that's been created in Peru has come from mining.
What's the next step for Forte for the rest of the year?
We've been working hard over the last 2 years, drill permitting 2 of our properties, one porphyry copper moly, Esperanza, that's never been drilled before. It's got an incredible alteration footprint in the Paleocene copper belt of southern Peru. So it's got the right address. It's close to major producing mines, and we're excited to drill test that for the first time. These processes to attain a DIA permit, they can be lengthy in the country, and so we're excited to have that permit for the porphyry. And then also we received, as we announced in the fall, we received the DIA drill permit for Pierina gold. It's a high sulfidation gold system in a gold silver base metal district that's renowned in the Puno region, and Pierina's never been drilled as well. So there's a good chance to make several new discoveries there, and we'll be drilling those this year. Starting end of second quarter, we'll drill one of them, likely the gold one. If gold continues to do what it's doing, we'll start with that one and then move towards the porphyry copper moly.
Well, Patrick, once again, it's been great catching up with you. Let us know when you've got something else you'd like to share with our audience.
Certainly. Thanks for having us, Ellis. We're always happy to speak with you.
I've been speaking with Patrick Elliott, President and CEO of Forte Minerals, trading on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CUAU, and in the U.S. on the OTCQB as FOMNF. Head to the company's website, forteminerals.com. I'm Ellis Martin, and this is South Florida's Money Talk Radio.